Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Guruvani Pracharni Nirvasai Sasunyavadi Pasyata Deshatarni Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaurabhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
Vipasindhubhayevascha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
I'm very happy and honored to be here in Panihati amongst all of you. Thank you so much for inviting me to come. And today what we have for you tonight is a memoir in photographs called The Bumpy Journey Toward Harmony with the Bhagavad Gita. So this story begins many decades ago when I was under 10. I had a fascination with photography. And looking back on it, this is a picture I took when I was 8 or 9. Looking back on it, I was really confused about the world I was in and what was going on in that world and what I was supposed to be doing. And I thought, perhaps unconsciously, that through photography, through recording it, I could begin to understand it. So I took pictures of everything. This is in my father's office in Manhattan. He has his back to the camera, and those are his employees and his customers. My family and I lived about 20 miles away in a suburb of Manhattan. And this is a typical scene in a beauty parlor. And this really confused me, why ladies wanted to look like this, and why they spent their time and their money looking like this. And this was in the 60s in America, and it was a time of great unrest. I participated in many, many demonstrations to try to get equal rights for black people, to end segregation and discrimination against black people. It really hurt my heart to see such injustice. And I participated in many more demonstrations to try to end this unnecessary and exceptionally cruel war in Vietnam. So by and by it became time for college, and I majored in photography at Rochester Institute of Technology in upstate New York. In that picture I'm about 19 years old. And right away I became fascinated with close-up photography. I found that when you get close to even ordinary objects, very often they're extraordinarily beautiful, and sometimes you don't know what they are. So on the right you have soap bubbles, and each bubble is reflecting the window and the sky and the clouds outside. Does anyone have an idea what that is?
Pumpkin. Blueberry. Wow. Tomato.
These are grapes.
Grapes.
And this one?
Rose.
A rose, yeah, flowers. Oh, maybe cabbage.
Yes, red cabbage. This is some kind of a dried seed pod.
Wow.
And here we have another question. This is a hard one. This you don't find in India, but it's common in the West. This is? Yes, this is the heart of an artichoke.
Ah, Siki, Haribo.
This is the heart of an artichoke. So over that first summer, after my freshman year of college, I got a job in New York City in Manhattan as an assistant to a commercial photographer. And very quickly I became completely disillusioned with that whole industry. I found that it really lacked integrity, because the art directors and everyone involved in it simply wanted people to buy the product. There was no consideration of the value of the product, or the quality, or the necessity of the product. So we did a lot of work that summer, and even I got to know those ladies that decorate the covers of the magazines, and I found they were very stressed people. We would have lunch together, and their lunch was Diet Pepsi and Diet Cottage cheese. And the conversation was invariably, why did she get that job? Why didn't I get that job? It was highly competitive and very envious. So I left that whole field, commercial photography, forever. And I went back to college for the second year and I continued in close-up photography. These are fingers. And it turned out that in Manhattan there was a publishing company that specialized in photographic books. And they wanted a book about close-up photography. So I actually signed a contract with them. And I redoubled my efforts. Over Christmas, I was taking a picture of a spoon. And my mother looked in the room and she said, "What are you doing?" And she walked in and leaned over, and at that moment I took the picture. So that's my mom. Upside down, reflected in the surface of the spoon. Can you see her?
Yeah. Yes.
And these are dried photographic chemicals. This is a human hair dancing for the camera. And here we have one more question for you. This is? Yes, this is the cross-section of organic beet. So this became a book called Photomacography, Art and Techniques. This is my legal maiden name. And it got a few good reviews. Ralph Hattersley wrote for a popular photography magazine in those years. Beaumont Newhall was a photographic historian. And W. Eugene Smith was a photojournalist. In those years he was considered one of the 10 best in the world. So the next summer, the second summer of college, I got a job as an assistant to W. Eugene Smith because I thought I could get involved with photojournalism. So these are some of Smith's pictures, and I really respected his talent. And also he had a good heart. He took a series of pictures. This is one of them in a leper colony in Africa, run by Dr. Albert Schweitzer. And he was a World War II photographer. He thought if people saw the horrors of war, they would take steps to end war. So while I respected his talent, and I respected he had a good heart, in working with him, I realized he was not someone I wanted to emulate in my life, because he was an alcoholic, and he was not on speaking terms with his ex-wife. He wasn't on speaking terms with his 2 children. He was living with a Japanese woman half his age. So I was still very confused about what I should be doing, my position, and my future. So in college I had a friend who also majored in photography, and in the fall of 1970 he went to India. And he wrote to me from India. This is before email, when you actually had to write on a piece of paper and put it in the mail. It took 3 weeks to get to me in New York. And he said, "You should come. Photography is great." So in the beginning of 1971, I went to India.
Wow.
I'd never left North America before, and India was a very unusual place for me. Yes, that's a Dalda cannon in front. It's empty. This person is asking passerbys to put alms into the Dalda cannon in return for his tapasya, his austerity. So in places, India was breathtakingly beautiful. It's a banyan tree. This is on the Jalangi River in Bengal. And ordinary things were done in extraordinary ways. And the animals also, I had never heard about hogs eating stool. And in the West, the dogs are so pampered and cared for, and in India it was completely the opposite. And they use animals as we use trucks here to transport goods from here to there. Yes, this is a washerman, a yogi. And there were also some disappointments. Some people who were supposed to be holy were not acting in a holy way. So after some months, it became very hot. My friend and I were not used to the intense heat that we experienced. So we decided to go to Nepal. We went to a town called Pokhara, and we started trekking in the Himalayas. We went up and up and up, and every night we'd come to a village where the doors had no locks. And the villagers would invite us in, and they would share their rice and vegetables with us. And we shared our cashew nuts and raisins with them. And although in one sense there was a language barrier, in another sense there was great rapport. We really had a family feeling there. And after some time we came to 10,000 feet, which is the snow line at that time of year, and we found an abandoned shed there. And we decided to rest for a few days. And then from the very bottom of his backpack, my friend pulled out a blue paperback. And he gave that to me and said, "You should read this." And that was Bhagavad Gita as it is, by His Divine Grace, H.G Visakha. The abridged version. So I sat there, surrounded by snow-covered peaks, trying to read this early edition of the Bhagavad Gita, and I found I really could not understand it. I couldn't make head or tail of it. But at the same time, I had a great sense that this book had a message for me that was of the utmost importance. It could give me direction and values. It could give me a sense of identity. And eventually it could give me happiness. It was a mystical experience for me. Then we went back to India, my friend and I, and we went to a town in India